Caspar on the 11th of January 2025. Got an interesting one here. This is very much my last bottle of a lot of 3 cases, 3 dozen. Châteauneuf-du-Pape, Château de Beaucastel, 1989, that I bought at Sotheby's in, I'm going to say 1992. Um, and it was a bit of a cock up actually because I thought it was a 1 case lot. So I bet successful bid was 150 quid, but it turned out to be 3 times that. And drunk it all the rest. And I've been keeping this bottle. I just found it earlier in the wine rack, and I thought there's really no point in keeping it any longer. And I've opened it with some difficulty actually. The cork, top half of the cork was almost like new, and then the bottom half had turned really quite soggy, and parts of it had adhered to the glass, so it came out in several bits. I put it through a fine sieve, and it's incredibly aged looking. I mean, it's just medium deep, but not knowing what it was, you'd think it was possibly a Madeira. I mean, it's mahogany brown at the centre, orangey mahogany at the rim. Remarkably pale in colour. I mean, it's, as I say, it's only medium deep. Just 13% on the label I'm reading, which is extraordinary because 89 is known as being a particularly hot year, and yeah, even the cooler years now are 14.5%. So, well, it's fully tertiary as you'd expect from just from the vintage and from looking at it. I mean, it is the most extraordinary colour. It's got lovely aromas actually, a fresh mushroom skins and spice. A little bit of sort of dried herb, but it's perhaps a chestnut aroma, as is so often the case. The more mature a wine gets, the more difficult it is to describe. It's these tertiary characteristics that are so difficult to sort of put a handle on. And this hasn't been open long. I'm not sure what will happen to it. Really, it might fall apart conceivably. So I've taken this glass out of the bottle. Haven't decanted it, and I thought I'd do a tasting note now and just see how it develops. If it changes radically, I'll perhaps add a little bit to the note. But it reminds you of, got something very walnutty about it. Spice and old leaf litter. It's nicely clean. No sense of Brett to it. Something slightly gummy, pastel almost. Dry earth. And that clean mushroom, fresh mushroom skins. Perhaps a hint of something that's almost minty. Let's taste it. That's extraordinary, an absolute delight, and again, of course, absolutely tertiary on the palate, but it's got a weight of fruit to it. It's very, very much medium weight. Finally, a little spritz of tannin appears. Like a sort of dust in suspension, really, I suppose, of tannin. What's striking about it is the acidity, which is really quite lively and fresh, but held within the fruit, which is, I think I'm getting smoked now. old extinguished sort of bonfires. There'd be burning leaf litter in the garden. It's got a hint of cold coffee, but just delicious sweet spices, that lively acidity. It's quite extraordinary. I just don't know if you can see the colour of this wine. You can just about sort of make it out how extraordinarily brown it is. But it's still it's a wine still living, wine still capable of giving pleasure. I'm just hoping it's, what time is it now? It's 5:22, 6. So we're probably not going to eat for another hour and a bit. So I better keep an eye on it, because there's a chance it might fall apart with air, something this age. Yeah, I mean, it's clearly absolutely fully very mature. It's got a hint of sort of cola about it, flat cola. A little bit of gingeriness about it as well. Elegant, very much medium weight. It's still got length. As I say, that structure appears at the death in the sort of fine dusting of tannin. The acidity, even at the depth, is really held within the fruit concentration, and it's a delight. It's absolutely lovely. I haven't tasted this wine for, I'm trying to think how long. I haven't been to a Château de Beaucastel release tasting where they show the new wines for some years, and one of the last ones I went to, there was an open magnum of this vintage 89, and I thought then, gosh, this is fully mature. Perhaps I should drink my bottle, and then I forgot all about it, and I've just sort of found it in the wine rack now. I thought, it's a relic, and it would be a shame if it was a knackered relic. So open it, see what it's doing. What it's doing is a lot of fun. I rarely get to drink wines this mature. I tend, the older I get, the more I tend to enjoy younger wines. But very nice to drink something in this advanced state of maturity. It's a fascination. It's still vibrant, still singing, and still lovely. Fabulous. That's been 1989, Châteauneuf-du-Pape, Château de Beaucastel, a great classic vintage and one holding on. Hi, it's Caspar again. This is an addendum to a note I did on 1989 Château de Beaucastel, Châteauneuf-du-Pape, about half an hour ago. Well, left it to its own devices. Can it have become slightly redder? I'm not sure. That might be fanciful, but let's have another taste of it. Nose is really expressive. That dry earth, that sort of hot sandy, clean sandiness, dried herb. Still nut. The nose isn't radically different to what it was half an hour ago. The palate has blossomed. It's gained in density and intensity. Much more vim, much more life. It's quite a different beast. It's really opened up, which is something of a relief. I was fearful it might sort of collapse in on itself. Still a very elegant thing, but there's much more grip, um, much more dimension to the finish. Yeah, it's an extraordinary wine. I mean, 89 Beaucastel, almost brown in colour, um, has with air just gained this extra dimension and extra intensity. Extraordinary wine. I'm so glad I've kept this last bottle, and almost rather sad that I haven't got a few more. But what a thing! 89 Châteauneuf-du-Pape, Château de Beaucastel, amazing.